In this video, we're going to review common factoring. Let's look at our first example. So here we need to factor 8x squared y minus 4xy. What we need to do is consider what the greatest common factor between these two terms are. We're going to start by looking at the numbers. So when we look at 8 and 4, what are they both divisible by? What is the highest number that they're both divisible by? So 8 and 4, both divisible by 4. So that will be part of your greatest common factor. Next, we move to x squared and x. So the x squared and x, you want to pick the highest common exponent. In this case, the highest common exponent is 1. So you can take out a x. Then we get to the y term. They both just have one y, so we can take that out as well. Now we can factor this. When you are common factoring, you're essentially looking at what happens when you divide 8x squared y by 4xy. When you do this, 8 divided by 4 gives you a 2. X squared divided by x, remember you are subtracting those exponents, so that is just going to give you a x to the power of 1. And then y divided by y will give you a 1, which you don't have to write. In our next term, we have negative 4xy. What happens when we divide that by 4xy? So these are almost identical except for the negative. This will end up being negative 1. Which means when we common factor out the 4xy, from our first term, we're left with a 2x, and from our second term, we're left with a negative 1. Let's look at another example of this. So in this example, we have three terms, 13x to the power of 4, 26xy, and negative 39x squared. So again, consider what your greatest common factor is. If we look at the numbers 13, 26, and 39, they are all divisible by 13. So that is going to be part of your greatest common factor. Then we move to the variables. So we have x to the power of 4, an x, and an x squared here. You have to pull out the highest exponent that is common for all x's. So the highest exponent we have that all three terms have is just x to the power of 1. And then in terms of the y, only the middle term has a y, which means it is not common. So 13x to the power of 4, what happens when we divide that by 13x? Well, the 13s are going to cancel out. 13 divided by 13 is just equal to 1. And x to the power of 4 divided by x would give you x to the power of 3. Then we have 26xy divided by 13x. 26 divided by 13 gives you a 2. X divided by x gives you a 1. And y just hangs around. And then we have negative 39x squared. That is being divided by 13x as well. Negative 39 divided by 13 is going to give you a negative 3. And then x squared divided by x will give you 1x left over. So that means when we go to pull out our 13x, what we get left with is x cubed from our first term, 2y from our second term, and negative 3x from our third term.